Greetings! Welcome to the IRZ Online video tutorial. This video tutorial will provide instructions on operating the digital fuel level sensor. Let's begin with its connection to the added to the system device. Next, we will generate a graph on the sensor's operation. We will create a report parameter on sensor's operation, add it to express report and detailed report. And in the last part of the video, we will adjust the device according to the created report parameter. Let's go to the Settings tool, List of Vehicles, choose the vehicle on which the device is installed and click on the Edit option. Click on the Devices tab, select the required option and enter the Edit tab. Here we can see the number and the type of the device as well as the list of the inputs used. Our sensor is connected by the RS485 interface. Before adding the fuel level sensor, first you have to add the extension controller. Set type to RS485. Next, enter the sequence number of sensor, which we set during the device configuration. If required, file a note. Choose the date of connection, that is to say the date from which the system will count the recordings. Press Save. Now the extension controller should appear in the list. Add the input for this extension controller. In this case, we need an input which will transfer the data on the measured fuel level. In other words, those are LLS values. Choose the date and press Add. Now the input showed up in the list. Press Edit. Set the data type as numerical. Set the physical sensor to fuel level. Enter the value map. Input value is a value received by system from the device. Output value is the value that is shown in the system to the user. If needed, add the required number of intermediate values with the button Add. Set the minimal value in the first line and the maximal value in the last line. This vehicle has a fuel tank capacity of 100 liters, though the maximal possible value that can be received from the devices is 4095. Press Save and then press Save again. The value map is now added. Here input has already been added and adjusted. When all the settings are made, we click Save and then Save again. Save all of the device's settings. In order to include the data on fuel level into reports, first we have to create a report parameter. To do this, first we need to create a virtual sensor, which will be connected to the report parameter. We go to the virtual sensors, click Add and select the name for the virtual sensor, Liquid Level Sensor. Next, we select the One Input Dependence or Configurable Dependence option. It is selected if we need to create a virtual sensor for several inputs. Let's add an input. For this, we click the Add button below. Next, select the Liquid Level option from the list. We specify the minimum and maximum accountable input value, which will be recorded by the system at the input. Check the Liquid Level Sensor box. We can set a minimal level of refueling and draining that will be recorded by the system. If refueling and drains need to be taken into account on the move, check the respective box. Here we can set the LSS measurement interval, which will be counted by the system. It is calculated by dividing maximal number of liters in the tank by the maximal value from the sensor. Minimal drain and refueling speeds can also be set, as well as the minimum accountable operation and idle time. Counting only values corresponding to the set interval will allow avoiding false records. Choose the date of connection, then press OK and save. Now we can add data on the operation of the liquids level sensor to the graphs. Let's head over to the Graphs tool, select Add. Check the box for liquid level and click OK. Now we can see it in the list of parameters displayed in the graph. Let's head to the Edit tab. Here we can set the fuel level data to be displayed in General Graph by default. We can set the graph color, enable the option of recalculated to units per hour, as well as choose the type of the graph. Press Save. Create the report parameter. Press Add. Choose the required ones from the list. For instance, fuel consumption according to LLS and liquid level. In each block select Virtual Sensor, Liquid Level. If the value should be presented in, for instance, milliliters, then set the recalculation factor to 1000. We need it in liters, so we leave it at 1. Choose the date of connection, then press Save. In addition, we can add this parameter to the Express report. We head to the Express report, click Add and select the required report parameter. Then press Add and Save. Now we will add this report parameter to the detailed report. Let's head to the Reports tab and add, for instance, to the daily report. Go to the Report Editing tab. Select the Editing option for the daily section. Drag the fuel consumption parameter from the left block to right block and save. Done. Now let's create a unit so that the system will visually display the data received from the sensor. First, return to the list of vehicles. Click Units, then Add. Select one of the unit types: bar chart, temperature chart, on-off indicator, pointer indicator and value indicator. Select bar chart and enter a name. Select the data source. Data source can be connected device input, virtual sensor or report parameter. For our purposes, we will use the virtual sensor. As for less complicated data, as onboard network voltage, which is streamed from the input without additional settings, we could use a connected input. When liquid level was readjusted or reconnected to another virtual sensor with the changes included into report parameter, in case we want to avoid creating new unit, we will specify the report parameter. This parameter is also used for building such graphs as speed. We will create it later. For now, select the virtual liquid level sensor. If the value should be presented in, for instance, milliliters, then we could use recalculation factor. In this case, it would have been set to 1000. We need it in liters, so we leave it at 1. Let's set the value range to make it easier working with the data. Maximal value is 100, since tank capacity is 100 liters. Set several different ranges and assign colors to them: 0-20, 20-50, 50-100. Feel free to change the format. The box liquid level sensor is only checked when the unit is bound to a report parameter and is used for fuel level data adjustment and to avoid graph surges and drops, which can happen with data coming from LLS input. For more illustration, let's check the box Show Values in %. OK, save. Let's add another unit on speed report parameter. It is done in similar manner. Enter unit's name and choose the pointer type. Data source is report parameters. Press Next. Choose the speed parameter. There is no need to recalculate the value, so we leave 1 in the next box. Our vehicle's maximum speed is 120 km per hour. Let's put in several value ranges: 0-60, 60-90, 90-120. Let's set the value displayed mode to the whole number. Press Save. Let's take a look at the resulting graph. Enter the Track tab, select our vehicle and the time period, and press Generate Track. Express report shows fuel consumption. Let's check the graph data. Press the Graph Management button, display only liquid level. Here we can see as fuel level changes over time. Now let's take a look on the entire report. Go to the Report tool, select Day and Time Period, select Daily Report, Vehicle and press Generate Report. Now there's an added parameter in the report, fuel consumption on LLS. Let's take a look at the units. Select a vehicle, set the time period from history and click Show Units. It displays fuel level and speed. There is a unit player in the upper side of the screen, with which you can monitor the change of your parameters with time. Go to the tab Current Data in order to learn the current fuel level and vehicle speed at the moment. For more detailed information on the Web IRZ Online tracking system, visit irzonline.com or contact the managers of the sales department. Thank you for watching.